President Obama has a problem with Senate Democrats. You thought it was the Republicans who have the problem. You've been paying too much attention to the establishment media. No, the president has a problem defending his legacy. For the next 2 years, Mr. Obama has to fight off attacks from his own party. He has to keep enough Senate Democrats on his side. He's got to stop them drifting away. Senator Schumer has already broken from Obamacare. That's big. Senator Manchin has no stomach for climate change. Even Senator Elizabeth Warren wants to repeal the medical device tax that helps fund Obamacare. Remember, the Democrats took a pounding last month. They lost the Senate. And they lost because President Obama and his signature policies are deeply unpopular. Why should they go into the next election saddled with Obama's policy failures? If the Republicans want to chip away the Obama legacy, their best allies are probably disgruntled Democrats. Hold on. We have more on this. Dan Henninger is next. I want to get right at President Obama's problem with his own party. Listen to what Democrat Senator Joe Manchin said this morning on Fox News.
People want to get something done, and I'm a moderate Democrat. I want to work with them to get something done, and all we have to do is find that middle and find a balance.
Dan Henninger from the Wall Street Journal editorial board is right here, as he usually is, on Thursday lunchtimes. Dan, welcome to the program.
Good to be with you, Stuart.
Do you agree with my premise that the president has a problem with his own party, specifically Senate Democrats? He needs them bad, and he might not keep them.
He needs them badly. I mean, the question is, where was he when they needed him? He's now saying after the election, after they lost the Senate, that now he wants to do business with them. And many of them are saying, you know, we didn't really hear much from President Obama for the last 4 or 5 years, and now suddenly he wants to talk to us. But think of this, like Senator Manchin, comes from a coal state, West Virginia. Because Barack Obama could not find it a reason to approve the Keystone XL pipeline, they have lost 3 Senate seats. Colorado, Alaska, and Shirley Mary Landrieu's going down in Louisiana this weekend. So they're going into the minority. Being in the minority in the Senate is a terrible way to live, Stuart. It is no fun. You have no authority. You don't run the committees. And now President Obama is reaching out to these guys in the minority. I think it's going to be a very hard sell.
He can't hold them, in other words.
Well, I don't think he can hold them. I mean, Senator Schumer gave the famous speech saying Obamacare was a mistake. But just this week, outgoing Iowa Senator Tom Harkin, the progressive, also said he thought the Affordable Care Act was a mistake. From a different point of view, Harkin said they should have gone for single payer and that the Obamacare is too complicated. So even his own people are beginning to fall on each other with long knives.
So let's think this through. In the next 2 years, there are going to be bills presented by the Republicans which say, get rid of this part of Obamacare, get rid of that part of Obamacare. And some Senate Democrats will go along with it. And they'll present a bill on the president's desk that says, this part of Obamacare is gone. He's got to veto it. And then he's got to rely on the Democrats in the Senate to come up with enough votes to not sustain that veto.
Yeah.
And he's got to get those senators.
Yeah, and the question is whether he can successfully do that. I mean, he's doing things like offering them seats in the Senate, in the presidential box at the Kennedy Center, more trips up to the White House, that sort of thing.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's doing that?
Yes, definitely.
That's not going to make it.
I don't think that's going to make it at all. And the one issue that I think could really get interesting next year is if the Republicans propose reducing the corporate tax rate down to 25%.
Yes. Yeah, no, wait a second. I've got to get more on this. You think that they will?
Yeah.
They will introduce a bill that says lower that corporate tax rate.
Yeah.
Then what?
Well, I think the White House may then be willing to talk to them about it. This is real politics, a real piece of public policy in which you negotiate with the Democrats. The question will be whether Barack Obama, when the Republicans criticize the wish list that Obama puts forward, whether Obama goes out and gives a speech in public denouncing the Republicans, thereby poisoning the well, as he did with that executive order on immigration.
Where do you think
the thing is, the Democrats are terrified that they've gone so far left that they've lost the middle-class voter, certainly Reagan Democrat voter. So they're terrified of that's probably why Chuck Schumer came out and attacked Obamacare, because they're terrified of losing the middle-class voter. So how do they tack back to get that middle-class voter? Will you see middle-class tax cuts now being talked about?
I think they may talk about things like tax credits, but it's a little difficult at this stage for them to do a full tax reform bill. I don't see that as being in the cards. And to Liz's point, Chuck Schumer argued, yes, we've lost the middle class, but we've got to convince them that government is their friend. Question is, how do they do that? Because I think a lot of middle-class people at this point say government is not my friend.
I just wonder which part of the Obama legacy, Obamacare and climate change, that's going to be chipped away at. That's not going to be intact in 2017. I just don't see that.
Not at all. I don't, and I think climate change, the pipeline is something that, you know, Democratic unions want that pipeline. They want those jobs, and Democrats who've just lost the way they have in the midterm elections are going to say, we have got to give these people something or we'll be just out of power for a generation. So that puts them in real tension with Barack Obama's politics.
That's an excellent out cue, Dan. That's a really good one.
Thank you.
Famous. Thanks very much, Dan Henniger. Always good.